History survives in many forms. In memories passed down through generations, in fading newspapers, in handwritten letters, and in records carefully preserved across time. Together, they tell the story of a day that changed Goa forever. For over 4.5 centuries, Goa remained under Portuguese rule. By the 20th century, particularly under Antonio de Oliveira Salazar's Estado Novo regime, civil liberties in Goa came under increasing state control. This control was reinforced through laws such as the Acto Colonial and the Carta Organica, which strengthened Portugal's authority over its overseas territories and limited opportunities for political participation. Newspapers were censored, books and publications were scrutinized, public meetings required prior permissions, and political activity was closely monitored. The restrictions extended into everyday life. Opportunities to freely discuss political issues, organize public meetings, or express dissent were limited. Yet beneath these restrictions, a growing political awareness was taking shape. Influenced by developments in the wider Indian freedom movement and encouraged by local organizations and leaders, many Goans began questioning a system that regulated public expression and participation in public life. By the mid-1940s, the demand for civil liberties could no longer be ignored. In June 1946, Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia arrived in Goa at the invitation of his friend Dr. Julião Menezes. As he traveled through the territory and interacted with local people, Lohia encountered a society where even the most basic freedom of speech and assembly remained restricted. Deeply disturbed by these conditions, he resolved to change them. A public meeting was planned in Margao for 18 June 1946. At a time when public gatherings were closely regulated, the meeting became a powerful assertion of the people's right to speak, assemble, and participate in public life. Thousands gathered. But before the meeting could proceed, the Portuguese authorities arrested Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia and Dr. Julião Menezes. Several others who had gathered in support of the movement were also detained. Even raising slogans such as Jai Hind could invite arrest. What began as an attempt to silence a gathering would soon have the opposite effect. The events of 18 June awakened a new spirit across Goa. Just 3 days later, people returned to the same ground in Margao, which would soon come to be known as Lohia Maidan. The call for civil liberties spread rapidly. Public meetings, satyagrahas, Prabhat ferries, and flag hoisting ceremonies were organized across towns and villages. From Mapsa to Asolna, from Mador to Kukori and Carmona, increasing numbers of people joined the movement. The authorities responded with arrest, surveillance, and restrictions. Yet, every attempt to suppress the movement only strengthened it. The demand for freedom of speech, assembly, and expression gradually evolved into a broader struggle against the colonial rule itself. What had begun in Margao on 18 June 1946 was no longer the cause of few individuals. It had become the voice of people. The spirit of 18 June continued to inspire acts of resistance in the years that followed. It found expression in organized movements, public demonstrations, and the satyagrahas of 1954 and 1955. The struggle continued for another 15 years. Then, in December 1961, Operation Vijay brought an end to the Portuguese rule in Goa. On 19 December 1961, Goa was liberated and became part of the Indian Union. Yet the significance of 18 June lies not only in what happened that day, but in everything that followed. It marked the beginning of a new chapter in Goa's history, a chapter in which ordinary people asserted its right to be heard. Today, 80 years later, the documents, letters, newspapers, and the records preserved by the Directorate of Goa Archives continue to tell the story. They remind us that freedom begins with a voice, and on 18 June 1946, Goa found its own